What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your Brewmaster-in-Chief. And tonight, in the BrewLab, I'm coming at you with Meta Week Day 5. And there's a list that has been around now for quite some time, almost unchanged. One that I personally used to get into Mythic, I want to say at least 4 or 5 seasons in a row since its inception. One that of these that we've been going through over this meta week, it's one of the ones that is retaining the majority of its important pieces. So I think it'll still be a very important threat in the format come rotation. The few cards that it is losing, I think we can quite easily swap out with other things, and there's lots of different options of how it is that you could build it. I find that type of brew very interesting to bring to this type of meta week, because there's lots to discuss. So, the deck I'm talking about today, we'll be using a different website for our metadata. If you guys are not aware of MTGAzone.com, have you been sleeping under a rock? Obviously one of the top metadata aggregating websites, and they've got premium articles written by some of the best Magic players on the planet, deck guides, tier lists, metagames. You can submit your own deck lists. I mean, there's tournament results in here. It's really in depth, and they've got articles about everything. And this is their best of one standard tier list, according to play rates, and they've got the reasoning here why it is that they've ranked those things the way they have been ranked. So tier 1 is the best of the best, the most consistent decks that sport the highest win rates and generally the highest play rates. So no surprises here as far as the top 5. Slightly different from the stuff going on here in Untapped. Even if we bring this all the way up to, let's say, Platinum, yeah, I mean, most of the mono white aggro Boros Burn or Boros aggro, and it's one of its various shapes and sizes. Selesnya, Orzhov, Angels. I mean, but you'll see that some of the ones, what I found most interesting is comparing the tier lists. So unfortunately, for whatever reason, it filters to February 10th. If you switch it to, from April 28th, which is way too late. February 10th, even further back, So I think the most interesting one is to go to July 11th to now. Suddenly, the thing just changes completely. Which I found to be very, very interesting. Mono white aggro, Boros Burn, but then there's mono blue Delver has now entered tier 1. It's not showing up anywhere else on the various other websites, and mono red Goblins has joined tier 1, which I found like incredible. Teamer aggro with Titan of Industry seems more like a control deck. Some cool new stuff here, which we might have to look at tomorrow. But where was I? As soon as we shrink this up to Platinum, Naya Humans enters the fray at the top tier, and this is tonight's deck that we'll be looking at. It's basically just mono white. It's one of these decks where it just uses the mono white core, and they're splashing some colors to gain some cool new tricks. And the version that I played with a lot to get into Mythic a few months back was this one that runs a sneaky one of Minsk, the Beloved Ranger, but now I've found that this version over here to be the most consistent. I'd rather have 3 Adelines than 2. It's that good. So yeah, I copied this one, brought it into the client, and without further ado, let's jump into tonight's brew. Naya Humans. Oh, and sorry, the whole point of showing you MTGA Zone was that the on their channel, on their website, Naya Aggro is the 3rd deck from the top, and has been there for a while now. So they're calling it Naya Aggro. call it Naya Humans. But basically, it's Alena and Halana and Luminarch Aspirant. If we could just get this website to load up. My internet's been terrible today. I really wish to know what's going on. Might be doing some work on the antenna. There we go. This is tier 2, tier 1. Naya Aggro is third from the top here. And I wanted to compare the deck lists ever so slightly, but then what's happened here is that it's become this like Bard class version of the deck. The one, there we go, standard Naya Humans is from June 7th. It's quite a bit, further back in time, but it's completely different. There's Planeswalkers, Brybridge Tracker, completely different choices as far as the deck is concerned, but definitely still with Halana and Halana. It's a best of 3 version. There's a sideboard going on here. Completely different deck list to the one that I got from Untapped. This one seems pretty interesting as well. We might have to have a look at this towards the end of tonight's video, where we'll discuss what it is that we can do to make this deck rotation proof. But anyway, I'm rambling. Let's get into tonight's brew. This is the one off of Untapped. Classic mono white. I've made one tiny adjustment. I went down 1 Thalia, down 1 Intrepid Adversary. And I put in 2 Paladin classes. Everything else is exactly the same as I found it on the website. The reason to be splashing red and green in this particular deck is for 4 copies of Halana and Alena, 3 copies of Sigarda, Champion of Light, which gives all of our humans +1/+1. Everything else in the deck is humans, including Halana and Alena. And yeah, the combination of things like Intrepid Adversary and Luminarch Aspirant, which give additional power to your creatures, with Halana and Halana, and of course Sigarda also, which gives additional power to our human. The bigger we can make these partners, the bigger, the buff that they will then give to the creature that they target at the beginning of combat. Interesting to note, the mana base is just 4 Secluded Courtyards instead of putting in the new Jetmir's Gardens, because it is Naya after all. I think Secluded Courtyard just always enters the battlefield untapped and essentially does the same thing in this deck, where it's all humans. You just select humans, and then you can have this be mana of any color, and you don't have to risk the Jetmir's Gardens coming into play untapped. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then we've just got a bunch of duels, mostly leaning on the pathways for this one, except for the chill land in Selesnya colors, where there's a full set of that, whereas there's just one of each of the other 2. 2 Cave of the Frost Dragons, 2 Eiganjos, and that's it. That's the deck. Meta week day 5. Let's jump into some games. I've been playing this one a lot today. It still has its explosive, that explosive feeling of, a few seasons back. I just got a bit bored of playing it, but at turn 4, Halana and Halana, you've got the Elite Spellbinders, the usual mono white stuff to rely upon to stall the opponent, the Thalias. It feels good. 3 lander with a Hopeful Initiate and a Luminarch Aspirant. Very nice. Human. Like brokers. Yeah. Just making sure I can play my Adeline. Oh, so brutal. We need a double white to get down the Sigarda's champion. Pretty nice. wouldn't you block the bigger one? I guess. Oh, gotta love it. Gotta love it. Just like mono white plus extra anthem effects, really, and like the Alana and Halana and Luminarch Aspirant both trigger at the beginning of combat. You just get this like snowball effect that it's really tough to get around unless you're playing against black, hard removal, removal tribal type decks. It's usually quite easy. The far side with a PH. Another great hand. So probably... Ooh, okay, never mind. I wonder if this is Selesnya and they just haven't found their land yet. It's kind of exactly the same opener as last game. Play this on white, we should be able to play the champion next turn. And that's gonna be game. Oh, very good. Gonna definitely have to go for a slightly shorter one. As I'm recording this, it's 5:30 in the morning. I actually went to bed and woke up again to do this. That's dedication for you. But my son has a fever. It was very, very hot at some point last night. And yeah, I just couldn't record. I would have definitely woken him up. Now he's just out cold. I'm hoping I can record without him waking up. But yeah, he was so sick last night. I think he's probably going to sleep very deeply right through my voice, droning on about magic in the background. Anyway, sorry. Interlude. Hashtag BrewDad mode activated. Old Petchigi. Ooh, number 403. Come on, let's kick this guy's ass. We got this. Oof. The Aspirant Thalia package is also very nice. These Secluded Courtyards, I keep forgetting about them. Tribal decks. Oh yeah. This is your land. I wonder if this is going to be your more like enchantments or sort of rampy mid-range shenanigans. Oh wow, interesting. Let's see if there's an Asika's Chariot I need to get rid of. Oh wow, okay. Probably Illuminator Virtuoso. More likely. A handful of these effects. Can give them reach as well. Ooh, that's nice. Has to be white if I want to do a double Intrepid. I think I'd rather get that wild shape kind of, let's say, out of his hand. So is that the full mana? So it's usually 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 1 from the Thalia is 4. Okay, so that's correct. So he's got the mana for it still, which means he could give reach. It's okay. Let's we played the adversary next turn. It should be enough. Becomes a 1/5. That's not enough to destroy my spellbinders. Okay. Ah. I'm swinging. Stuff it. I was expecting him to go for the Thalia, which is cool. I don't really care. Down to 10. Just bring in the Adeline and Luminarch Aspirant next turn. That should sort of seal the deal, I think. Oh, these courtyards, huh? He's only got 3 blockers. I mean 2 blockers, and we've got 4 attackers. 2 of which have flying. I think we're good. Unless he's got another one of those wild shapes there in his hand. He could give the Jewel Thief reach and block the 5/3. We got 2 mana available. Block the 4/5, right? You still die. You have to also block the 2/2. Okay, goes down to 1. Okay. Guess math is for blockers. Got like one of those show of confidence. Would it be enough with the 4 life gained? I'm just worried he had, otherwise I might not have blocked, but knowing the type of deck this is, I have a feeling he's got some little combat tricks up his sleeve. There's one. It's not enough. I've ever seen this card played once. Still no life gain. Oh, gains the first strike. But not the double strike. It's not enough. Good game. Nailed it. Oh. Little 2-year-old starting to wriggle around on his bed. We may have to call this one a little bit short, but I wanted to do a little meta week like discussion. So, cards from this list that are rotating out: Elite Spellbinder, Luminarch Aspirant, Paladin Class, the pathways. I mean, that's not a lot, right? There's plenty still sticking around. And I think what's cool is here to really consider making it less dependent on the mono-white shell and try to go more Naya cards. There's some really good ones, especially if you still want to stick to the humans theme. Be right back. Okay, I think I got him back to bed. Naya Humans, my 2023 version. Leaning more on the modified sub-theme. We've got some of the same tricks with the Secluded Courtyard here. I can go down to 3 of those. I have put in the Jetmirs, so we have a more diverse, there's less white in the main deck. Some of the usual suspects: Hopeful Initiate, Intrepid Adversary, Brutal Cathar, Adeline, Halana and Alena, Sigarda, like plenty of the same cards. We've got some new interesting choices here. Katilda for some ramp, Upriser Renegade for a modified payoff, some removal in the form of Kami's Flare and Flame Discharge, which work great with this modified sub-theme. Of course, don't forget that the etching of Kumano on the backside of Kumano faces Kakkazan is a human. We've got some Tamios to protect our creatures, and some Hopeful Initiates that get bigger via the training mechanic. I think if you were in the market for a different version of Naya Humans, one that is rotation proof, then this might be right up your alley. So I'm going to leave this in the bonus brews down below for you guys to hopefully go copy and enjoy. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. How would you have built Naya Humans if you were going to make it rotation proof for standard 2023? That's probably hitting Arena next month. But yeah, as far as the net deck version, as you saw, obviously still incredibly strong. I didn't really get to showcase my reasoning behind the Paladin class, but it really is just an additional Anthem effect on top of the Alena and Halana. So it's the Paladin class, the Intrepid Adversary, the Luminarch Aspirant, the Sigarda, all ways of growing your Halana and Alena so that then it grows the rest of your creatures even more. It's just a way to go. And then eventually, if you get to that level 3 Paladin class with the double strike, I've had it be a win con in and of itself. And I just thought, you know, these class enchantments that were so instrumental in making a really interesting kind of new addition to the meta when they arrived are going to be rotating on in September, so we might as well enjoy them while they're here. But that's going to be it for tonight's gameplay footage, guys. I wish I could go a little longer, but as you heard, he's still a little bit sick and grumpy, and I need to go and look after him, get a wet towel on his brow, get some cold water in him, and might need to do a little paracetamol up the bum action. So yeah, sorry about that, a little interlude, but that is going to be it for tonight's gameplay footage. Thank you all so much for watching, as always, and bearing with my BrewDad shenanigans. I will see you all tomorrow with Meta Week Day 6. Don't forget to tune in. Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. This is Lone Fox from the BrewLab, signing out. Peace, y'all.